Let's go, y'all. Monday morning. Woo! Let's get fired up, y'all. I hope y'all had a great weekend, Monday morning today. I know some of you think Mondays suck, but let's change that today. So I'm going to start a series called Momentum Monday. What we're going to do is bring you inspiring quotes to get your ass up and moving on Monday to kill it, so that creates momentum for the rest of the week. So with that being said, I'm going to share with you guys an inspirational quote in between each set, as well as go over one Q&A for health and fitness. So first, inspirational quote: we become what we think about. And this is by Earl Nightingale. One little tidbit about that, a reminder that positive thinking helps you frame your mindset and change your life. And that is spoken by the author of Essence of Success. It's so true. Having a great mindset can definitely change your paradigm and how you look on life. I definitely learned that this past year with all the health issues that I had, and now I'm recovering from. And then we're going to get on to the health and fitness Q&A. How do I get started, someone asks. Well, quite simply, get up off your ass and you do something. Now, I know that's easy to say, but in reality, the best way to get started is to schedule something. You plan ahead of time, you schedule every single day what you plan on doing. And when it comes to health and fitness, it's no different. You are going to schedule. My personal thing that I do for me is every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I schedule at this specific time. I'm going to be doing my workouts, doing some physical activity, and you guys should do the same thing as well. That's one of the best ways to get started. If you guys need a plan, feel free to use these workouts. Basically just follow them verbatim, how I'm doing them. And yeah, sometimes I use fancy words and out of context, and I don't know the definition. So yeah, bear with me. So yeah, schedule, and then we're going to get into our first triset of swing, rotation, carry, and then after that we'll do a giant set of the other 4 primary movements. Without further ado, we're going to get some tunes rolling for all y'all, and we're going to get the primary movements rolling this morning. If I can find my music, there it is. Alright, swing, rotation, carry, triset number 1. All done. We're going to get on to some more inspirational quotes. Number 2, people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. And that's by Rob Siltanen. And just a little tidbit about that quote. Rob is a leading creative marketer responsible for some of the most effective and iconic advertising campaigns of the past 30 years. So yeah, this kind of just plays on the mindset thing. It's so important. It just really changes the wiring in your brain, depending on how you think, depending on your mindset. So keep that in mind, guys. All right, next health and fitness question. What is the deal with heart rate monitoring? That's a good question. I think this is really a misunderstood topic, is the heart rate monitoring. Like, do you need to do it? Is it important? Here's the reason why heart rate monitoring, you'd want to use it, okay? If you're someone who has heart issues and are on specific medications, stuff like that, you'd want to make sure you're measuring your heart rate and it's going according to what the doctor's plan for your health is, right? So I've had to do this for many clients who are like on statins or like other things, heart surgeries such as stents put in. So we had to be very mindful of the heart rate throughout the workout. So we'd be taking pulse in between sets and just make sure the exertion level is to a proper level. Now, outside of the medical conditions, why is heart rate important? Because what the science states is that depending on your heart rate, you'll actually be burning more fat than muscle. So you want to generally be in about the 50 to 60% heart rate range of your maximal heart rate. And if you guys aren't sure what your maximal heart rate is, you take 220, the number 220, and you minus your age. That's going to be your maximal heart rate. And then to find like where you want to be throughout your workout, you want to be about the 50 to 60% range of your maximal heart rate. I know there's a little bit of math for you guys, but after you take your age and you minus that from 220, then you would times that number that you get by a percentage. So if you're going for 60%, it'd be 0.6 times that number that you got. And that is simply 60% of what your maximal heart rate would be. And that's a good indicator of where you want to be at, about 60% or so, 50 to 60%. Reason being is when you're in that zone of heart rate, you're going to be burning more fat than muscle. Once you go above that heart rate and your heart rate starts going up to like 80%, up to the maximal effort, then you're actually going to be burning some muscle mass off. That's just how the body systems work and the energy systems work. And also keep in mind, you don't want to have an elevated heart rate for a long period of time because the chances are that, again, you're going to be targeting more muscle than fat. So that's why walking is actually one of the best forms of cardio to preserve your muscle mass and burn the most calories from fat. Although you are burning less calories than you would if you were running, chances are that you're going to be burning more calories from fat rather than muscle. So that's why heart rate's important. I know that was kind of like a long ranty answer, a lot of numbers in there, so sorry if you're not a numbers person. But yeah, keep it about 50-60% if you want to burn mainly fat mass off for your workouts. And we're going to get to the next triset of swing rotation carry. All right, Triset number 2, all done. We're gonna get into more inspirational quotes. Third quote of the day: optimism is one quality more associated with success and happiness than any other. And that's by Brian Tracy. A tidbit about that quote: let your positivity and optimism inspire you and lead you to success. All right. Yeah, you can see these are all Brian Tracy quotes or come from his website. So they're very much so about mindset. If you guys haven't heard of Brian Tracy, definitely check him out. Also, Jim Rohn is very good if you guys are looking for how to improve your mindset and kind of change that paradigm. All right, so health and fitness question number 2. Working out on an empty stomach. So this is something that I actually do pretty much every workout. I actually work out fasted, meaning that I don't have any food in my system when I'm working out. There's nothing inherently wrong when working out on an empty stomach. If you do it fasted, I would highly recommend you do it in the morning, especially earlier in the morning, because chances are you still have some energy left over from the previous day that hasn't been burned off yet, or basically is ready to burn off in your energy stores. If you wait too long in the day, say you fast for too long, maybe around 12 or 1 p.m., and then you try to work out on an empty stomach, you're probably gonna be really exhausted and fatigued because a lot of that energy that you had stored up from the day prior is either burned off or not able to utilize. So, that being said, if you work out on an empty stomach, would suggest you do it early in the morning, especially if you're fasting, because generally speaking, you want to keep your meals about 2 hours before you work out, because chances are it can cause issues if you're really straining yourself and working out to the appropriate intensity. You may have some issues with your stomach if you eat too soon before the workout. So keep that in mind, y'all. All right, we're going to go Triset number 3. This will be our last set of swing, rotation, carry, and then we'll get on to the other 4 primary movements. All right, Triset number 3, all done. Swing, rotation, carry. Then we're gonna go on to, we're gonna do barbell squat, then we're gonna do a dumbbell chest press, and we're gonna finish that 4 primary movements up with dumbbell deadlifts and then dumbbell rows. Okay, so next inspirational quote for Monday. Happiness is not something ready-made. It comes from your own actions, and that is by the Dalai Lama. A tidbit about that quote: a visionary among us, the Dalai Lama, always has something inspiring to share. And yeah, I mean, anything coming from the Dalai Lama is usually like really insightful. A lot of wisdom there for sure. All right, so next health and fitness question. Can I work out every single day? So this is actually a really great question and very often misunderstood. When we talk about workouts, we need to define what a workout is, right? Now, I think most people think of a workout as like what we're doing today. We're doing some heavy resistance training or challenging resistance training. Where you're going to your RP of 8, right? RP of 8 means 80% of your maximal effort. So the intensity is there, the challenge is there. Workout-wise, you need to work out basically X amount of days a week to hit your allotted sets. So for most people starting out, you want to do 10 sets per week. So if you're doing 10 sets per week and you split that up by 3 days, you do 4 sets one day, you do 3 sets the next, and 3 sets the next. And when I say these 4 and 3 sets to get your 10 for the week, those 10 sets consist of the 7 primary movements. Ideally, you should have the 7 primary movements in every single workout. If you guys don't know what that is, literally just watch today and pretty much every other workout that I've streamed. The 7 primary movements are swing, rotation, carry. That's pretty much what we always start with. Sometimes you can switch up the order in which you do the primary movements, but I usually do swing, rotation, carry. And then we do a squat or a knee-dominated exercise. We do a hinge, such as a deadlift, we do a row, and then we do a press. And that is the 7 primary movements. Now, you want to do your 10 sets a week of each of those 7 primaries. So for example, on Monday, today we're just doing 3 sets. So we're doing 3 sets of each of the primary movements. That's going to equal 7 times 3 equals 21 sets total for today. Now, for the rest of the week, you want to do at least 4 and 3 more sets on each other days if you do 3 days a week. Since I'm doing Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I'm going to have to do one of my days of 4 sets, and then the rest of the 2 are going to be 3 sets of each of those 7 primaries. Now, workout-wise, should you work out every single day? It's really up to you guys. If you want to spread out your volume for the week of those 10 sets over 5 days, that would mean you do 2 sets per day, right, for 5 days in a row of the 7 primary movements. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of that. I like to do some rest periods in between. So I like to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, allow my body to rest and recover in between the intense workouts. That way you're also keeping the intensity up. Sometimes if you work out too often, you're not able to keep the intensity up, and it becomes a burden. If you're having to work out 5 days a week and you're struggling to find the time, I feel like it's really tough to get 5 days a week of 7 primary movements, to get your 10 sets total. That being said, it's really what you guys want to do. I highly encourage you guys to be active every single day, which is different than working out, right? I consider working out heavy resistance training or challenging resistance training. That's where we're really pushing ourselves. The other days of the week, and this is basically all 7 days of the week, I like to do at least 20 to 30 minutes of walking every single day, even on days that I'm doing heavy resistance training or challenging resistance training. And then I like to add in some other forms of cardio, such as like hiking, biking, or swimming. Really, really great forms of cardio. But just keep that in mind. I believe every single day, walking 20, 30 minutes, it's great. About 3 days a week or so, you can go up to about 5 days a week or so of intense resistance training. And again, it's just all to get those 10 sets of the primary movements. And you can add and sprinkle in there some core work. Core is great to do. I wouldn't do it every single day. I'd pair that up with resistance day trainings. And then, yeah, so that's generally what I think about working out every single day. I know those are very long, ranty answers. I'm just feeling very ranty today, I guess. But I hope that answers that question for y'all. We're going to get to the next set of our primary movements. This is going to be called a giant set. A giant set is 4 back-to-back exercises without any rest in between. We're going to start with barbell squat. We're going to go and do dumbbell chest press. We're going to do dumbbell deadlift, followed by dumbbell row. And for when I'm doing supersets, which is like back-to-back exercises, trisets or giant sets, I really like to go upper, lower. So in between sets, I get a little bit of rest from whatever body area that I'm hitting. All right. right, giant set number 1. All done. Feeling really good today, y'all. Getting my strength back. If you guys, I'm failing so hard today. If you guys have any questions, health and fitness related, throw them in the chat and we'll answer them in real time. If you have any song requests, we won't play them on this stream, but we'll play them on the stream later today, which is going to be in the afternoon to evening time, on the guitar. But yeah, let's go ahead and keep rolling with the, let me see, inspirational quotes, if I can find them. All right, next inspirational quote. All our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. That's by Walt Disney. So this inspirational quote comes from the man who created the happiest place on earth and a multi-billion-dollar company. So, if you guys didn't know who Walt Disney is, get your head out of your ass. All right, next up for the health and fitness question we have, why is it after I eat fruit I get hungry again within an hour? It's a great question. So our body utilizes food differently. Fruit happen to be really low on the glycemic index, which means that it gets digested fairly quickly, right? There's some foods that take a lot longer to digest, and then some foods that go through like lightning quick. The reason why fruits may make you hungry again really soon is because it basically spikes your insulin level. You get this quick hit of sugar, this quick energy, if you will. And since it digests so quickly, it goes through your body and your system so quickly, it leaves it just as quick. When you don't have things to balance out sugar in your body, carbohydrates, right? Carbohydrates are essentially just sugar. If you don't have like fat and protein in the presence of those things, the faster it digests, the quicker it'll go through your body, and you'll have this like energy spike of boop boop. Just because it's a healthier carbohydrate such as sugar, if it's one that digests really quickly, it's no different than if you ate like a candy bar. That's how the energy system works. Now, obviously a candy bar is not as healthy as eating some fruits, but when we're talking about pure energy here, it goes through your body very quickly. Therefore, you're gonna go through the spike of energy and you're gonna kind of crash a little bit without the presence of protein and fat. And that's gonna make you tired and also hungry again, looking for more energy. People have this, they don't associate energy with food. Food is energy, right? So if you're going through this like peak and valley all day, boom, 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 and you're spiking your insulin, right? You're hitting these sugar crashes. Essentially, when you hit that crash, your body's like, oh shit, we need more energy, right? So it wants more food. Because you didn't do a good job, and yes, I'm blaming you guys for this. If you know, a lot of people just don't know about nutrition, but since you're watching this and you're listening to this, now you know, right? It's all about balancing out your energy. So you don't want to digest something super quick and let it go through your body super quick. You want it to take some time. That's why you introduce protein and fat with those sugars or carbohydrates, and you'll have a nice balance to your meal. Now you may be asking, what's the good balance of protein, carbs, and fat? Now this is going to basically differ depending on the individual, as well as what you can handle per meal and how many meals per day. My general recommendation is you want anywhere from 20 to 40 grams of protein for each meal. So anywhere in that kind of realm is pretty good. Going higher than 40 and maybe even up to 40 is not going to be ideal because your body won't utilize all that. Carbohydrates can be anywhere from about 60 to 100 grams per meal. I know if some people are on keto, obviously it's going to be much lower than that. I'm not a big fan of any specific fad diet. Some people feel great on keto, awesome. If you feel great on a specific diet, keep up with it. I'm just giving general recommendations here for overall health. So 60 to 100 grams of carbs per meal. And then fat, I would say anywhere from 20 to 30 grams of fat per meal. So just to give you guys a quick TLDR, basically too long didn't read, you want to balance out your basically energy systems for each meal. You should ideally aim for these macronutrient targets. You should aim for about 20 to 40 grams of protein, 60 to 100 grams of carbohydrates, and about 20 to 30 grams of fat. And doing so will help balance out your energy systems. It won't create these peaks and volleys, and you'll be nice and balanced as far as your energy systems and probably satiety goes for the entire day. So keep that in mind for your meals. I told you guys I'm getting ranty today. I got a lot of rants coming. All right, we're gonna get to our next giant set of squat. We're gonna do the barbell squat. We're gonna do chest press with the dumbbells here. We're gonna do deadlift with the dumbbells, and then we're gonna do row with the dumbbells, and then we'll get into more quotes and more Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to shoot in the chat. We can answer it real time, or song requests, which we'll do later. We'll do guitar covers later on today's afternoon, evening stream. All right, we're gonna get back to it. Next set. monster set, or giant set rather. Number 2, we got one more left. We're gonna get to some more inspirational quotes for today, Momentum Monday, and then we'll get to a Q&A about health and fitness. All right, so next quote. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts, and that's by Winston Churchill. That's a great quote, I really like that. And a little tidbit about that quote. When it comes to inspirational, encouraging quotes by successful people, Winston Churchill's words of wisdom always make my list. So yeah, he has some really good quotes, as well as all these other individuals I've been quoting today. All right, so health and fitness Q&A. Should I eat late? Should I eat late at night or before bed? So this is a really interesting question because in some cases yes, some cases no. If you're an individual who has issues going to sleep because you're digesting and you have maybe GI issues, I wouldn't suggest this. I would give yourself about 2 hours or more before bed, sometimes 3 or 4 hours for your last meal. Now, here is the problem if you basically go to sleep on an empty stomach, all right? Your body is still burning calories, and if you don't have enough energy in there for it to burn through to do its processes, you will burn muscle mass. Now, I don't want you guys to freak out because it's not going to be burning a ton of muscle mass. Just make sure throughout your day you're adequately getting your caloric intake. So at night, your body can use those calories still to burn energy rather than using your muscle. So that being said, a really good option you could do before bed, maybe like an hour or so or even less before bed, is you can do stuff like string cheese. String cheese is not going to be super digestive heavy unless, of course, you're lactose intolerant. Then do not do this. But the reason why string cheese would be really good for most people is it has this protein called casein in it. Now, there's a bunch of different proteins. I won't go down the rabbit hole of all the different protein types, but casein is a protein that releases slowly. So it's perfect to eat before bed because that casein, that protein casein, will release slowly overnight and allow your body to utilize that and help repair and still have enough energy to do everything it needs to do. So you shouldn't run into muscle burning problems in your sleep though if you're adequately getting your calories for the day, so don't worry too much about it. For most people, I would suggest keeping about 2 to 3 hours before bed for your last meal. And for those of you that can handle it, things such as like cottage cheese or string cheese before bed, like an hour or so before bed would be really good for a slow protein release throughout the night. But me personally, I stop eating about 3 hours before bed because I personally will mess up my sleep if I have like things digesting in there. So yeah, whatever works best for you guys, but that's some solid information for you. We're gonna get to our last giant set of barbell squats. We're gonna go for chest press on the dumbbells today. Then we're gonna do deadlift on the dumbbells and then row on the dumbbells. After that, we'll get one more round of inspirational quotes and Q&A, and then we'll hop into our cool down. So we're doing our static stretching and whatnot. All right, on to the next giant set. If I can find my music here. bring some batteries down to the speaker. Hopefully it doesn't die. Now we'll have to switch to the next speaker. Whew. All right. Woo! Giant set number 3, all done. Workout all done. Woo! Just making sure the audio is working there. Sorry about the feedback. We're gonna get to one last inspirational quote, and then one last health and fitness Q&A. So, inspirational quote for the day. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. That's by Theodore Roosevelt. And a little tidbit about that, coming from the youngest person to become the US president, Teddy really believed, or really lived by what he said. Okay, last health and fitness question for today. I'm on a very low carb diet. Is that good? So, I get this type of question a lot, and it's hard to answer whether it's good or bad. It's really going to be one of those annoying answers, like whatever is best for you individually. But in my personal opinion, no, I don't think a low carb diet is good. Reason being is I believe in overall health. Now, when we're talking about overall health, that means we want to balance our macronutrients in a very mindful and healthy way. If you're on a very low carbohydrate diet, you're not getting some really vital carbs for your overall health. You're probably extremely high in fat, which in a lot of cases can be really bad, especially if you have heart issues or any high blood pressure. Because chances are, if you're on a high fat diet, right, protein's pretty fixed. If you guys didn't know this, your protein level is about anywhere from 0.4 to about 0.8% of your total body weight. You just take your total body weight and you times it by 0.4. That's the minimum amount of protein you want for an individual who's not very active. And then the more active you are, up to about 0.8, you take that body weight, you times it by 0.8. And that's more or less the grams of protein you want for a day, that scale there. Less active days, you can go down to 0.4. More active days, you can go to about 0.8. So protein's pretty fixed, right? The only thing you can play around with is carbs and fat for the most part. So chances are, like I said, if you're on a very low carbohydrate diet, you're replacing those carbs with fat. You run into a lot of problems with that. If you have high saturated fats, I mean, if you're getting more than about 20, 30 grams of saturated fat per day, that can cause some issues. That can cause cholesterol issues, that can cause heart issues and whatnot. So be very mindful about if you are low carb, make sure you have healthy fats and you're not having too much of any particular fat. You want to keep your saturated fats down as much as possible. Your mono saturated fats you want to have a lot of. Poly you want to have about one third of the grams of your mono. So if you have about, say, 50 grams of mono unsaturated fat for the day, you want to have about a third of that in poly unsaturated fats. And then keeping your saturated fats, like I said, as low as possible for the day. You don't want to have too much saturated fats. They generally say anything below 20 grams is pretty good, saturated. So keeping that in mind, if you do go low carb and you choose those fats, choose healthier fats, mono being one of the best fats, poly being okay, but you want to have less poly than mono. And then saturated fats you want to keep relatively down. And I gave an example earlier in this stream about how you want to balance your macros for each meal. I'll just recap again really quickly. I know I'm getting very ranty today, but protein, you want to have about 20 to 40 grams per meal. Carbohydrates, you want to have about 60 to 100 grams per meal. And then fats, you want to have about 20, 30 grams per meal. And the reason why I give you guys a scale is because you could utilize whichever you want on that scale, but that's a really general good rule of thumb for how you want to balance your macros. Again, it matters like how much calories you need per day, how much meals you eat per day, and so on and so forth. But that's generally what you want to do. Long ass answer to a low carb diet. I personally don't like low carb diets. I don't like anything that's messing around with my macronutrients. I like to keep everything nice and balanced. That being said, a low carb diet can work for some people and some people feel great. If that's the case, watch the fats that you eat. Be very careful not to go high on saturated fats, keeping your saturated fats below 20 grams. You can go high on mono fats, but just remember poly fats you can go high on as well. You want to keep about 1/3 of the ratio or 1/2 of the ratio of your mono. So keep that in mind. That was a long ass answer. I hope you guys are enjoying this ranty stream today. We're going to finish up with a cool down, and after that cool down we'll do a little bit of outro. If you guys are sticking around for the stream later today, it's going to be in the afternoon, evening time. We're going to do song requests on the guitar, so I play guitar covers. Any song requests that you guys throw in the chat, I'll get to. I'll do my best to butcher the shit out of it. Promise you that. If you guys don't give me song requests, I'll just play whatever song that I'm feeling. I got a ton of songs saved up to play on the guitar. We also do like a themed, either like stories or Q&A or something like that. So I'll put it in the title, so just pay attention to that. All right, we're gonna get to our cool down. And I usually like to play really chill music for the cool down. I also am very mindful about how I'm breathing. I do a deep breath in, deep breath out. And another thing you can do that's really neat for cool downs to help relax your body and your mind is visualizations. Imagine a very calming, relaxing place in your mind. Deep breath in and out throughout your cool down. And it's just going to be a great 1-2 punch for your mind and body, just relaxing and cooling down everything. All right, let's get to it. Post-workout ASMR breathing. Cooldown is all done. Workout is all done. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream today. We'll finish you out with one last inspirational quote and then one last Q&A. And then we'll be on the stream later today if you guys want to catch the guitar song request gaming stream later today in the afternoon, evening. Alright, so inspirational quote. I can't change the direction of the wind, but I can adjust my sails to always reach my destination. Damn, that's deep. That's by Ginny Dean. That's by Jimmy Dean. And a little tidbit about that. American country singer turned breakfast food entrepreneur. This man knows a thing or two about adjusting his sails to a new course. True dat, Jimmy Dean. All right, last health and fitness question. I only eat when I have time and I'm not seeing good results, even though I eat clean. So this whole thing about eating clean, it's really tricky because most people think eating clean is just fruits and vegetables and lean meats, which is a general good rule of thumb. That being said, there can be a lot of sneaky ingredients that are hidden in some foods, as well as the stuff you add to certain foods. Now, if you're eating clean and not getting good results, that's kind of a big question because I don't know what their goal is, but chances are I would imagine that they're not building muscle, right? That's generally what's associated when they're saying they're not getting results, and they're not complaining about portion size and stuff like that. That would be more like a weight loss. So this sounds like a muscle question, like a muscle building question. Why are they eating clean but not getting the results as far as muscles go? Now, that being said, when you're going for building muscle, it's a very different caloric daily amount that you want than if you're losing weight or anything of those sort of goals. You want to be at your maintenance level, meaning that your weight doesn't change as far as calories go per day. So you want to basically be maintaining your weight with the amount of calories you're eating, or even a little bit of a surplus. It's okay to go over by 200 to like 500 calories. So maybe even you gain a little bit of weight, right? The reason being is you need to feed your body to build muscle. If you're not getting at least your maintenance calories per day, you're not going to be building muscle. Meaning that you should either be staying the same weight or gaining weight. And if you are doing your adequate amount of resistance training per week and getting at your maintenance and maybe a little bit above, chances are that weight gain that you have should be very small, but it also should be from muscle and not fat. And when you eat in this sort of fashion and do your resistance training consistently throughout the week, you should notice your body fat goes down, your weight probably won't change or maybe goes up a little bit. This person is probably not getting enough calories. It is extremely hard in most cases to get enough calories when you're eating very clean. So you have to be very strategic about where you get your calories. So let me give you guys a really quick, easy example about how to add more calories to like eating clean or eating really healthy. Is say you got a plate full of vegetables, right? One way you can add a ton of calories to that, because veggies in and of themselves are not much calories, is you pour a bunch of olive oil on those veggies and you just added a ton of calories. So for every tablespoon, right, a tablespoon of olive oil, it's just a small amount. That's about 120 calories in most cases. You can add 2 tablespoons of olive oil to that plate of veggies, and you just added 240 calories to that plate. So keep that in mind. Utilizing something like oil is a very, very easy way to get calories. And if your goal is not to build muscle and you want to lose weight, be mindful of the fat, because the fat can sneak up as far as calories go. It's really easy to get high calories in your fat. So that would be my suggestion to that individual is, one, you need to be maintaining your weight or gaining weight if you're eating clean and you're not seeing results, which I believe their goal is to build muscle. You want to be at that maintenance level or maybe a surplus. So that means maybe switching out some of those healthier vegetables for like more carb dense foods or more fat dense foods. And that will get you more so to your goal of maintenance and surplus to build muscle mass. So I hope that answered that question. I know my answers are very long today. I was very ranty. So sorry, not sorry. Sometimes the questions take a little bit while to answer. I appreciate everyone checking out the stream. I hope you guys are enjoying the content. If you guys ever have any health and fitness questions on the workout streams or in the gaming streams that I do later today, feel free to throw them in the chat and I'll answer them in real time. And if I don't, I'll get to them at some point in time. I have a huge list of hundreds of questions that people have asked me throughout the years, and I'm just checking them off one by one. And then if you guys ever have any song requests, feel free to throw it in the chat for the workout streams or the gaming streams later. I do guitar covers and we do fun song requests. I usually butcher the shit out of your covers you guys ask me to do on the guitar, but we have a good time doing it. Yeah, so with that being said, hope you guys enjoy the workout stream. Later today in the afternoon, evening will be the gaming, guitar, song requests, workout stream, or gaming stream, rather. But yeah, hope you guys are having an awesome Monday. If you guys need to get a chance to get all the inspirational quotes, feel free to watch this video back. I also did a lot of Q&A today, as I do every workout. But I hope you guys have an awesome Monday, and I'll see you on the next stream later today. Peace!